Arthur, I'd like to read this letter that I got yesterday. This came from a believer in Denver, a hospice physician, and he was driving home from a meeting that particular evening, and he wrote this. And I want to read this and get your impression on it. Okay?
Okay.
I was driving home from a meeting this evening about 5 o'clock. I was stuck in traffic on Colorado Boulevard, and the car started to choke and sputter and started to die. I barely managed to coast and cursing it into a gas station, gladly only that I would not be blocking traffic and I would have to somewhat find a warm spot to wait for the tow truck. It wouldn't even turn over. And before I could make a call, I saw a woman walking out of the Quick Mart building, and it looked like she slipped on some ice and fell into a gas pump. So I got out to see if she was okay. When I got there, it looked like she had been overcome by sobs by more than just sobs that she had fallen. She was a young woman who looked really haggard with dark circles under her eyes. She dropped something as I helped her up, and I picked up and gave it to her, and it was a nickel. At that moment, everything came into focus for me. The woman was crying. The ancient Suburban was crammed full of stuff with 3 kids in the back, 1 in the car seat, and the gas pump was reading $4.95. She got a nickel and change. I asked her if she was okay and if she needed help, and she just kept saying, "I don't want my kids to see me crying." So we stood on the other side of the pump from her car, and she said she was driving to California. Things were very hard for her right now. So I asked, "And you were praying?" That made her back away from me a little. But I assured her that I was not a crazy person, and I said, "He heard you, and he sent me." I took out my card, swiped it through the card reader on the pump so that she could fill her car completely. And while it was fueling, I walked to the next door to McDonald's, bought 2 big bags of food, some gift certificates for more, a big cup of coffee, and she gave the food to the kids in the car who attacked it like wild wolves. We stood by the pump eating fries and talking a little, and she told me her name. She said she lived in Kansas City. Her boyfriend left 2 months ago, and she had not been able to make ends meet. She knew she wouldn't have money to pay rent January 1st, and finally, in desperation, she called her parents, with whom she hadn't spoken in 5 years. They lived in California, and she said that they could come and live with them and try to get back on her feet. So she packed up everything she owned in the car, told the kids that they were going to California for Christmas, but didn't say that they were going to go to live there. I gave her my gloves. I gave her a little hug and said a quick prayer for her for safety on the road. As I was walking over my car, she said, are you like an angel or something?" This definitely made me cry. I said, "Sweetie, at this time of year, angels are really busy, so sometimes God uses regular people." It was so incredible to be a part of someone else's miracle. And of course, you guessed it, when I got in my car, it started right away and got me home with no problem.
That's powerful.
You know, sometimes bad things happen to good people, and this is something that, you know, you could say this is bad for him. As he said, he was cursing his way, although as it was sputtering into, and just got off the road to make this happen. But you know, to be a part of something in your life, and this is something that you've given your life to do, is to be a provision for God's people. Not just, and you know, it's not just because your car stalled at the right place at the right time, but it's because you've said that my life is yours, and every week I'm going to be part of being a minister to your people. I'm going to risk the security of my family. I'm going to move from Grand Rapids. I'm going to move down to a city I've never thought about being in before. I'm going to start over from scratch, and this is what you've been doing here.
That's a powerful story. I mean, it's amazing how Father has a way of just shutting everything down in order to meet the need of an individual. I mean, you got 2 people who are going in different directions, and now you find this fella whose car stopped. I mean, is that the hand of the Almighty? That picture is a testimony to all of us when we talk about, you know, really needing the Almighty's help, how He will interrupt someone else's life to get the provision that you need to you. And that's powerful.